Welcome to this daily guided meditation practice. This is a meditation practice for both new and expert practitioners. And my name is Nathan, and I'll be guiding you through this meditation practice today. Find yourself a seated position. The goal with the position when we're practicing is to find something both sturdy and comfortable. You want to be sturdy because it gives us a sense of groundedness, a sense of being here, not like we're about to get up and go do something. And we want to be comfortable because it lessens the distraction we have during our practice. Just basically, if you're sitting on your foot or your back's in a strange way, it might hurt and it might be a distraction. So finding something sturdy and comfortable are key. Sitting in a formal meditation posture, of course, satisfies these two criteria, but you can also sit in a chair. You can even lie down. Just don't fall asleep. Find what works for you. And of course, you can close your eyes or open your eyes during this practice, whatever works for you. I prefer to keep my eyes open, but you can do what you like. In fact, if you prefer to close your eyes, go ahead and do that. But if your eyes are open, leave the screen alone and drop your gaze gently down below you. Maybe just looking at the floor or the desk or whatever is just below you. We're not staring at a spot in the floor and concentrating on it, but we're also not zoned out and blurry. We have a gentle gaze directed softly yet clearly downwards. You're in a comfortable position, and your eyes are either closed or open, gaze directed softly yet clearly downwards. Just relax. You're already here. We all are. And to relax doesn't mean to try to relax. Relaxing means allowing the body to relax by itself. It wants to. Simply get out of the way and let it happen. No expectations. No ideas of what should happen. What is here right now? When there are no problems to be solved. This isn't a question to be answered with thinking. It's not an answer you can write down in a book. Where does this question point to? What is here when there are no problems to be solved? There's nowhere to go, nothing to do, and there's no one to become. What's left? Notice the subtle sensations of the breath, the gentle rhythm that happens all by itself as the breath comes in and departs. Without really forcing or concentrating, just see if you can notice this breath rising and falling without getting distracted by thinking. And if you're normal, I'm probably catching you thinking right now, worried about some problem, planning for the future. So when you notice that you're lost in a thought and the breath is no longer seen, gently and effortlessly return to the breath. Leave alone what you think should happen and discover what happens, rising and falling. Come back. Come back to the breath, rising and falling. Notice this moment. It's not even proper to use that name, moment. There's just this. What do you hear? What do you feel? Smell, taste, see. All of this right now and nowhere else. This is where your life is, right here, not in ceaseless thinking, not in ideas. Notice this. Completely rest. All right, you can look at the screen. I think I've told this story before, but when I first met my teacher, Hyung-ak Sunim, uh, it was funny because we did a practice together. Well, it was actually a couple of weeks. I moved to Germany and did his 5 a.m. practice. It was really cool because it was in the middle. I got up so early that the people in the town, it was like 4:30 a.m., people in the town were still throwing up, like drunk from the night before, just standing in the street waiting for their ride home after a whole night of partying. And I'm walking through with these, with my coat and my little robes and walking through the street to get to the Zen Center. And I show up not expecting Sunim to be there because he did a morning practice and an evening practice. So I showed up here. It was 4:30 a.m. And it ended up being in this giant silent, what they call the Dharma room. I was sitting there waiting for the practice to begin, and the only person who showed up was my teacher. So it was a very cool experience because I've known about him for many years. And it was just me and him practicing together for the hour and a half or whatever it was. And then he said, at the end of the practice, he said, well, come see me at breakfast. It was just me and him. And so I went and I sat down and he sat down. We're in the kitchen. And he said, and we're very quiet. He starts reading something because he has to do some work, and he's like, just sit with me while we do some work. I'm like, okay, and I'm eating, and he's sitting there. And he says, out of nowhere, in this really quiet space, he goes, damn, your watch is so loud. It's like, loud? My watch? I was using a watch like this. This is like this, so it was on my wrist. It's some Walmart watch. The little ticker. And I'm like, what do you mean my watch is loud? He's like, listen. And there, just subtly, I could hear it. And in that moment, I think he was showing me how the difference between being lost in thought and being completely present. That when you're present, you notice everything. The sound of the plane that's happening right now outside. The leaves, the smell in the air, the taste on my tongue. This present moment that we usually miss because we're living in a dream of thought. And he said, which he didn't know that I was practicing for a while at that time, but it was such a crazy moment. He said, when you start to practice, the whole world opens up. So when we're lost in thought, we no longer see what we're looking at or thinking. We don't hear the birds. We don't feel the wind on our face or the sun's warmth on our shoulder. Because we're thinking. This thin reality, this dream of existence. It's not real, the one that we're thinking about. But when we leave thinking alone, when we actually come into contact with what is here, you can hear things you never heard before, see colors you don't usually see, smells. This world, as it already is, becomes clear to you. And you don't behave as someone who is trapped by thinking. So that was a big moment for me. It was the beginning, really, when I started practicing with a teacher. Before I practiced for years without one. And so he put that stamp on me. Now I'm sharing it with you. So practice. Trust me, just practice. Especially on your own. These guided meditations should just be an assistance, but not the thing. Practice. Thank you for your time today, and as always and without exception, I'll see you tomorrow.